And Fox News election alert for you now. Fox News can now project that businessman Donald Trump will win South Carolina's Republican presidential primary, although not by the double-digit margin that pre-election polls had suggested. Still, this makes back-to-back victories for Trump, who more than doubled the vote of his closest competitor in New Hampshire last week. Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Florida Senator Marco Rubio remain locked in a battle for second place tonight.
Let's bring in our panel now for reaction to this big win for Donald Trump. Not as big, Steve, as was projected going in. He was up by 13 in the average of polls heading into this day, but still a win and still significant for the Trump campaign.
Yeah, very significant. Look, a win is a win in this case for Donald Trump. This is somebody who, you know, to go back 6 months ago, to go back 9 months ago, people weren't thinking that Donald Trump was going to win anything. He was often regarded, myself included, as a candidate who was going to be sort of a novelty candidate, not somebody who was going to win. Huge credit to Donald Trump for doing what he's done just to win this primary.
And now, Kirsten, I believe the facts are that no Republican candidate in the history of the country has ever gone on to not get the nomination after winning both New Hampshire and South Carolina. So if Trump does not get
this... President Trump.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't get this nomination, it'll be the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, it will be the first time, though. I do think if you look at the exit polls, things have tightened up for him a little bit. It's a little more of a three-way race, it looks like. And look, people have had time to think about this. This is, you know, frequently people talk about how South Carolina is sort of the, you know, microcosm of a GOP electorate, and he's running pretty tight. And if you look at 92% of the people voting said they're dissatisfied or angry with the federal government. Those should really be Trump voters. That's really, you know, his sweet spot. And he got 31% and Cruz got 26%. That's not that huge of a margin. So I think we have to wait and see if we are starting to see a sort of tightening among the candidates, or if, you know, not necessarily that Trump's running away with it.
We're looking live at Trump headquarters in Spartanburg. I'm not sure they have the news yet. We might want to turn the channel. Dana, this is from here. Trump can build on this momentum. He talks about he's self-funding. I think there are people donating to his campaign, but he has momentum now heading into the series of states, Super Tuesday.
There's no doubt. He certainly does. I think a couple of interesting points here. I thought that Kirsten's is important. Also, if you look at the number of people who said the most important thing to them is voting for somebody who can win in November, that number is actually very different than these results. 49% of people said that would be Marco Rubio. 21% said Cruz, and 18% said Trump. So if you are at this point in the Trump campaign, you have to start thinking, I'm going to start needing to convince people that I can actually win in November.
But this is a message about anti-establishment, anti-Washington. Turn the table around.
The top three are all a road less traveled for the Republicans. Typically, Republicans like to go with the next guy in line, somebody very safe. That is not the case, at least certainly with Trump and Cruz. And I think that Rubio would put himself in that category, having taken on Charlie Crist in Florida and run as a Tea Party candidate just almost 6 years ago.
So now, Juan, we know what's going to happen tonight. Whoever comes in second, whether it's Cruz or Rubio, is going to come out and declare victory, saying, you know, we weren't expected to finish second, and here we did. And the third place finisher is going to say, I was inches behind that other guy, and I'm also in it to stay. And then the headlines are going to be, this is a three-man race, right? That's what we're going to hear. But is it realistically? I mean, what does it mean now that Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are going to finish in one order or the other, second and third tonight?
Well, I think two things need to be said. One is I think Rubio had a great night, a real comeback from New Hampshire, where he underperformed. Now, today, when we look at the numbers, as we can see from the polling so far, you would say that Donald Trump didn't perform below expectations. He pretty much met expectations in terms of what we saw ahead of time. It's the fact that Cruz and Rubio exceeded expectations, and Cruz especially, I think, can say that, you know what, nobody thought. People really doubted me down here, didn't know if I had the money, the organization, etc. He's done very well, and he's done well. I'm surprised that he has ended up splitting the evangelical vote with Trump, as I said before, but he has every reason now to carry on. I don't think, though, that you would say, you know, to play with candidate casino, you know, Brett Baer's thing. I think you'd have to say, of course it's Trump at this point. Trump looks like he could run the table. I'm picking up his language, but it sure looks that way to me.
I love Candidate Casino.
I know.
I always watch that on Fridays.
Well, thank you.